and a lot of frightened people driving Teslas. Just this past weekend, protesters encouraged behavior just like that. That's not protesting. In New York, they held up signs that read, "Burn a Tesla, save democracy."
We got Elon Musk deranged syndrome right now. As you guys know, there's a lot of protests over Elon Musk. I don't quite understand it. The only thing that I can make from it is some of these people are paid, and you got some people orchestrating it, and then you have some people that are delusional, and they're easily manipulated. Or you could just be so pro-party that you're just blind, or maybe it's all the above. It's one thing to protest, but it's another thing to try to intimidate people, to bomb Tesla dealerships, to set charging stations on fire, to key Tesla vehicles. And all these vehicles are made in America. They're made by Americans for the most part, Americans that's taking care of their American families, American citizens. So this is the company that you chose to go after because basically the Democratic Party is upset that their money machine is running out. They can't steal from the American public, the American taxpayer. They shouldn't be stealing from us anyway. And for people to support this, you have to be anti-American. That's just the way I see it. So let's go take a look, man. Let's go take a look at y'all. Y'all acting crazy. Unbelievable.
Come on, bring it on. Bring it on.
Well, it is a movement of anger and hate,
Wow.
a wave of anti-Elon Musk protests erupting across America. It happened all during the weekend as left-wing protesters targeted over 200 dealerships, showrooms, and charging stations under the banner of Take Tesla Down. It's a movement. Apparently, they don't have any problem taking away people's jobs, because if you destroy the employee workplace, how can you hire people? Anyway, they're protesting senior advisor Elon Musk's efforts to cut out government waste through the Department of Government Efficiency. However, some agitators are still resorting to violence. Is that what we're calling them now? Agitators? They're violent. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts Emily Campagno and Kayleigh McEnany. Also joining us today, Jerry Willis, Fox Business correspondent, and Jeremy Hunt, Veterans on Duty chairman and former Army intelligence captain.
And B&B of the B&B show.
Well, now the White House is deeming the attacks on Tesla to be domestic terror. Yes,
Facts.
That's more like it. Vehicles and dealerships have been pelted with bullets and Molotov cocktails, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. And a lot of frightened people driving Teslas. Just this past weekend, protesters encouraged behavior just like that. That's not protesting. In New York, they held up signs that read, "Burn a Tesla, save democracy." And this video shows what happened in Texas. The moment an anti-Tesla agitator rammed his four-wheeler into the side of unsuspecting Tesla owner's vehicle. The victim, fortunately, was not in the car when it happened, but she says the incident has left her living in fear.
No, his big ass know he need to be in the gym. He need to be shamed. Big ol' ass. You need to take your ass to the gym over here messing with people's stuff. This is somebody who's probably crazy, and he just needed whatever excuse to do crazy shit.
It's hurting more of the innocent victims than it is the people that they're trying to hurt. Every day, every second that I have to get in my vehicle, I do worry. And I do worry if I'm gonna be in it when they decide to hurt it.
Trump senior advisor Musk is calling out Democrats.
This is crazy, man, that this lady has to fear for herself, fear for her life, man, because you have somebody that's stupid ramming his fat ass into her car. Take your ass to the gym.
Isn't it shocking how much violence and hatred is coming from the left? I mean, isn't it supposed to be the party that they claim to be the party of empathy? And yet they're burning Teslas and shooting up dealerships and calling for the death of the president and me. I'm like, guys, this is insane. Like they're gone psycho. I mean, it's really like, I totally understand if somebody doesn't want to buy a product. Yeah, it's up to you. It's a free country, but you don't have to burn it down. Okay? But much. That's somebody else's car. Leave it alone.
Look, a bit of levity there. We could all use it around this topic, but I'm just going to start calling it the Democrat-owned protest at this point. And it really isn't protesting. It is domestic terrorism, setting stuff on fire, blowing stuff up.
Facts.
I couldn't agree more. That's exactly what it is. And where is the Democrat leadership?
That's exactly right.
And say, look, this is not who we are.
They're owning
we should not
it.
be doing that. There's no ownership of that. Where is Hakeem Jeffries? I mean, you see him, he's on socials all the time. There's a photo op, he's there. But when it comes to time for actual leadership, to actually call out his own party and say, hey, look, this is not what we should be doing, he's nowhere to be found. I mean, so that tells me that they have a lack of leadership and really a lack of any integrity to stand up and say, this is unacceptable. And that's what Democrat leaders need to get their head around right now.
Well, and Emily, again, I'm not going to wait for them to take responsibility. We'll just call it the Democrat-led, because if you don't try to change something, what are you doing? You're choosing it.
And the other thing is, if there's not a deterrence, then people will continue doing this. So I want to dig into a little bit about your point about domestic terrorism. Let's take Washington State, for example, that enjoys sort of a self-identification as radicals, but really what they are domestic terrorists. And the reality is that 20%, a record year in 2023 in Washington State, were sold EV vehicles. So that means a large proportion of that were Teslas. So that means that almost 20% of all the vehicles in Washington State might be Teslas. It's in their best interest to come out swinging, to charge every single one of those people with domestic terrorism. And then I argue, since in addition to being totally destroyed, that poor woman that you interviewed earlier, where she says up to $5,000, maybe even more dollars worth of damage on her Tesla. Well, make sure that these criminals pay for it. Make sure that they're then punitively charged with 3 times the amount. I mean, let's get some deterrence in here, because at the end of the day, if there isn't such, if we don't charge them, make them be on the hook for the monetary damage, and then show them that this is unacceptable, then they're just going to keep doing it and patting themselves on the back for so.
Facts. They can't keep committing crime with impunity. There has to be some action, some swift action. And there is one gentleman, that Pam Bondi, just recently, they said that he's facing 20 years in prison for firebombing a Tesla dealership, and for what?
I've made it clear, if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. We've charged Cooper Frederick in the firebombing of a Tesla dealership that occurred on March 7th in Loveland, Colorado. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. The crime was committed in Colorado, and thanks to the great investigative work by the FBI, the defendant was arrested in Plano, Texas. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
You're firebombing an American company in protest of what Doge is discovering. And you probably don't believe that they're discovering it. You probably believe that the Democrats aren't stealing money, or whatever politicians aren't stealing money, which I think is just absurd, because they're uncovering all of these programs that make absolutely no sense. So I just think you have a mixture. I think you have a mixture of mentally ill people that are crazy. I think you have a mixture of people that are bought to do this. They're paid to do this, so they go out and do it. And you have a mixture of people who are just going to believe the party and be party. That's all they care about. They're not. They preach that they're about the country, but they're really about party. They're about a team. They're about a gang. This is our side. It's our side against everyone else. And to me, that's just stupid. I think you should be about country. I was once a Democrat. I'm a Republican now. But you know something, I want who's best for the job. And let's just say 20 years from now, it's a Democrat, man, a Democrat that comes in here and does great work for the country. I'm going to cheer for that Democrat. I'm going to cheer for him or her, whoever it is, as long as they're doing right by the country. They're not stealing from the country, and they have the American citizens in mind, and it's America first. Yeah, I don't give a damn who it is, Democrat or Republican, man. I just want what's best for the country. So I'm definitely not going to go out here and start firebombing dealerships or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's to me, it's absurd. And for anyone that condones this behavior, you're not pro-America. You know, you have plenty of people that protest this country, right? Let's say you protest this country. So you think that this right here is the best solution, right? Oh, I'm going to protest America, so I'm going to go ahead and bomb American companies. I'm going to go ahead and make American citizens fearful of me. Stupid. Or if you're not from this country and you protest America, then why are you here? If this country is so bad, then go back home. It don't make no sense.
All right, you mentioned Hakeem Jeffries, former Democratic House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and House Minority Leader right now. I'm sure he'd love the Speaker job if he could get his hands on it. Hakeem Jeffries were at a loss for words when chased down for a comment about the violence against Elon Musk and Tesla.
Hakeem.
Tell us what you think about what's happening with the Tesla products, the violence at the dealerships. What's your take on the situation?
I'm so sorry, I'm a little bit late here right now.
What's your take on it? Do you denounce the violence?
Well, she's late in a lot of ways.
Could you imagine if Mike Johnson was run down or John Thune was run down and they said, what do you think about the burning of a business of a liberal? And they just turn their head. I mean, these are people driving in their vehicles I've seen. And then, people try to hurt them, you saw
force
that four-wheeler, force them off the road. And then that stationary vehicle that incurred all that damage from that four-wheeler there. It's insane that they won't call this out. So
They would try to make them out to be villains. Absolutely. She makes a great point. They would make them out to be villains. And you've seen it time and time again. It's interesting. You'll hear people talk about everything but this. They'll talk about the way Donald Trump talked about being, running for a third term. They'll talk about that. They'll talk about Zelensky not having a suit on and how Donald Trump was rude to him and so on and so forth. They'll talk about everything. They'll talk about eggs until the price of eggs come down, and then they ain't talking about eggs no more. But when it comes to this, they won't denounce it. They won't say anything. To me, that's you're supposed to be Democratic leadership. These people are doing it. So supposedly liberals that are against Republicans, against Trump, against Elon Musk. So they're doing it as Democrats, right? So if you're leadership, you should say something. But no, they put the microphone in Nancy Pelosi's face. She has no problem stealing and front running stocks and utilizing her position to take full advantage of Wall Street, take advantage of retail investors, take advantage of American taxpayers as well. No problem doing that. But a simple comment about what's happening to Tesla, an American company that employs Americans, and those Americans take care of their American families. No comment. She's in a rush. This lady, I just seen her the other day walking with a damn a walker. So you can't be in too much of a rush. Ridiculous.
Two are the protests themselves insane. I watched video of one in Manhattan. These protesters had these coffin-shaped posters. And on these coffin-shaped posters, they were laying down, like faking death. And the coffin-shaped posters had these messages: killed by the system 2025. Well, you weren't killed. You're alive and you're protesting with coffin-shaped posters. Death by Doge bite. I guess points for creativity there. Doge bite. Musk made Trump out Social Security. Not sure what that one means. NIH cuts cancer research. Medicaid cuts killed me. Didn't kill you. You're still alive. And RIP Medicaid. Rest in peace, Medicaid. Devoid of facts. Elon Musk came out about this Manhattan protest and said, I've not cut Medicaid, Social Security, unless you consider cutting fraud out of these programs, which saves the system. cutting them. They have not cut benefits for anyone. But where are the facts from these protesters? Shame on anyone promoting these protesters, and shame on the liberal media for suggesting Elon Musk was doing a Nazi hand signal when he was not. You have demonized this man, and the outgrowth of that has been violence.
Yeah, but you know that liberals often like to compare everything to slavery and the Holocaust.
Of course
I mean,
they do.
as if those points in history were not horrific enough and deserve their own lane and respect.
Exactly.
I mean, it's unbelievable, their lack of imagination. Jerry, let's talk just money here.
Yes.
When you talk about the earth cutting that goes into making an EV, right, for that battery.
Oh, yeah,
and the car blows up. Emily alluded to this. Even if you didn't have to pay for the shell of the car, those batteries are very expensive. We don't even have, in this country, a lot of the materials to make them. So we have to buy more through China. I mean, these people hate the country because they have not figured any of this out, and all of it is expensive.
So the young woman we quoted, we ran her sound here talking about losing, her Tesla attacked. She said, this was my dream car. And you said $5,000, $7,000 worth of damage, probably more. This is terrible. And I just wanted to talk about money in this way. Follow the money. That's what you've got to do with these protests, right? Who is paying for this? And this is a question that Elon Musk is asking. And when you look at the reporting on this, what you find is that a lot of this cash is coming from the Democratic Progressive Party. It's coming from people who are liberals.
Is George Soros on that list?
Did not see George Soros' name, but there is an organization called, get this, the Climate Defenders. They want to protest Elon Musk's Tesla.
Who are they funded by?
These are the people. I don't have that level of detail,
I'm going to dig
Harris.
deeper, but I love what you bring.
But let me just finish my thought here. These are people who are calling for lower emissions, and that's exactly what Elon Musk, the great innovator, is providing. He's reducing emissions. So, I mean, this is just crazy. And this is cash. This is money on the barrel that is funding these. These aren't grassroots, people rising up. No, it's, your progressives at work.
And what, in your estimation, flipped the switch? Because they were willing to go out and buy these cars. I mean, seriously, it wasn't just
Two
that
words.
other people had them. Some of them had them.
Donald Trump. They don't like Donald Trump. I actually think this is where all the venom is coming from.
Hey, everyone.
Let's go back over here. Take another look. That's embarrassing.
Bring it on! Bring it on!
You hear what that girl said? F you, Nazi. So everybody's a Nazi. If you don't agree with them, if you support Donald Trump, if you support the Republican Party, you support Elon Musk and Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, if you support Tesla, so you're a Nazi. So these would be the same people that will post on X, which is owned by Elon Musk, the person that you're calling a Nazi. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. So let's just keep it real, dude. You guys want to compare these people to Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, right? Okay. Well, Adolf Hitler, how many lives is he responsible for taking? How many people did he kill? How many countries did he conquer, or how many countries did he try to conquer? This man wanted world domination, dude. He was killing people. He was killing people in gas chambers. And this is who you guys try to compare Elon Musk and Donald Trump to. And furthermore, you have the United States. Just take a look at Operation Paperclip. The United States brought some scientists over, which were Nazi scientists. They brought these Nazi scientists over here to the United States to run NASA. Yes, NASA's space program. And then there's other reports that the United States knew about Adolf Hitler escaping to Argentina. So the corpse that they found that supposedly offed himself, it was a woman's body. It wasn't even Adolf Hitler, man. You think that someone that is the leader of the Nazi party, you guys think that he didn't have an escape plan? So supposedly, the United States government knew about it. And from what I understand, I haven't researched this part, but I've heard it said in interviews that the United States aided in Adolf Hitler getting out of Germany and defecting to Argentina. I don't know if that part's true. So It's crazy how people will get so enraged over politics, over one side disagreeing with the other.